Thank you all for being here today at the pre-grand opening of the Central Waterfront Navigation Center. We're really excited that this facility will be opening up and clients will be moving in next week. This took an effort of so many people and just want to acknowledge many of you. If I forget some folks, please accept my apologies. This really did take a village and a neighborhood to make happen. Certainly want to thank Supervisor Cohen's office. She wasn't unable to be here today, but her staff have joined us. She's been a real supporter and champion of this effort, and we're greatly appreciative of your partnership. Of course, we want to thank our friends at the Department of Public Works who built this beautiful facility, really worked tirelessly to make this happen. Working around all kinds of challenges of building a structure like this at the end of a street. And they just work through every challenge with such great grace and success, obviously, because here we are, this beautiful new site. Of course, we need to thank the port for allowing us to use this land, which is, they have been an amazing partner and have been very, very supportive of this work and all of the challenges of getting this MOU signed so that we could actually be here. Of course, the neighbors of the Dogpatch certainly delivered in terms of bringing support to this project and getting neighbors to come on board and to learn about it and to really, at the end of the day, support what we're doing here. Many of our service partners are here today. The Human Services Agency, Director Trent Rohr, Department of Public Health also play a role in this site, providing medical services. And of course, our partner in the site, Episcopal Community Services and Providence Foundation, who will be providing the services and operating this facility. So and all of you for being here today, the press and all of the neighbors and just our friends and people who have been working on this issue. Del Seymour is here representing the local homeless coordinating board. Just really great to see everyone and very appreciative of all of you being here to support this and to celebrate with us. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Ken Reggio, the Executive Director of Episcopal Community Services, to share a few words.
Thank you, Jeff. So Jeff thanked all the people that I was going to thank. So let me thank Jeff and let me thank the staff of the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing for the tremendous role that you've played all along the way on this, and Trent and your staff before that. It's been a real partnership, I think, between the nonprofit community and the city community in terms of finding responses to homelessness that work in our community. Responses like supportive housing, responses like shelter, and in a particular way, responses like the navigation centers. We were privileged at ECS to open the first navigation center 2 years ago. We, through that, have been able to place many people in housing, and for those that didn't go in housing, to provide them both the respite, a safety net that's so needed as we do every day in shelter as well. I do want to recognize our staff who have worked diligently as well on the planning of this and who do heroic work daily in all of our locations, our 11 supportive housing sites, our 2 shelters and the interfaith shelter during the winter. Particularly, I'd like to call out John Ortani, who is our site manager at the other navigation, at the Mission Street Navigation Center, and will be site manager here as well. Dennis McRae, our director of shelters. Is Dennis here? Dennis is here. Thank you, Dennis, who runs all of our shelter operations, and our ECS's director of programs, Kathy Trajari. Kathy. Jeff, I'll be brief. We at ECS are privileged to work 24/7 with more than 1,800 homeless and formerly homeless men, women, and children every day in our shelters, in our supportive housing sites, at the Mission Navigation Center, in our education, employment, and senior services. Every day at ECS, we see people who are strong and resilient, people who have endured circumstances that would break most of us. And at this newest navigation center, we'll have further opportunity to welcome men and women currently living on the streets, and nobody should have to live on the streets in our community, to a safe, clean place, a place where our guests can bring their pets, their partners, their possessions, where they can, like you and me, come and go as they please, where they will be treated every day with the dignity that every person has a right to. We're proud of the work that's done in our other services, and we're proud to be a partner here. I do want to recognize, too, our partner. I know she's going to speak, but we're particularly pleased to be partnering with Providence Foundation, reflecting the wonderful work that they do in the Bayview Hunters Point community, Helen, and our partner here in service provision. Mr. Mayor, much thanks to you for your leadership and for your partnership with the city on all of these works. Thank you.
So as you all know, the navigation centers were an innovation in shelter provision and homeless services that were developed a few years by what was then the Mayor's Office of Hope. Sam Dodge and Emily Cohen, along with then HSH staff, Kathy Perdue, Scott Walton, and others helped develop this idea of creating a low barrier shelter that was very welcoming to folks, that provided them with an opportunity, as Ken said, to come in with their pets and their possessions and their partners, but also that have services on site that are here to help navigate people towards exiting homelessness. And to date, the navigation centers have helped about 80% of the people who have come through the door have exited to either permanent housing or another temporary program and have been able to stay off the streets. And for that, we're very proud. Mayor Lee has made a tremendous amount of investment in creating this new department and also in promoting and investing in models that work. And now that we know that navigation centers do work and are effective interventions, the mayor has been supporting and pushing us to be able to do more. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce the mayor of the city and county of San Francisco, Ed Lee.
Well, thank you, Jeff, and I want to echo everything that you and Ken said. I was just going to say one word, and that was finally, and then I was going to drop the microphone and walk off. That's what I really planned to do, because this place does represent what we wanted to do with people who are on our streets, is give them a safe place to change their lives. And I want to say thank you again to Supervisor Malia Cohen, because it began with her leadership saying, I'll step up. I'll be that supervisor that says, yes, Mayor, you're not just the only person that struggles with this. We all have to struggle with the challenge of homelessness. And more, as I work with Jeff and his team, we want to make these the briefest episode in people's lives, and to work with the interfaith community, particularly here, ECS, and with Providence Foundation, not only to brief, but to touch people's lives in the most positive way when they're in the deepest of challenges in their lives, the emergency life and death situations that people are when they are living on our streets. This is where the miracles happen. And I have to say that the more observations we share with people, whether they're living in Dogpatch or in Tenderloin or in South Market or in Castro and other places, they feel, and I think they do feel, that it almost takes a miracle for those that are chronically homeless to feel that they can get out of that chronic homeless cycle. And when they come here, you already feel the first thing is how quiet it is here, how breathtaking the views are, and how bright the sun shines. Well, that's the kind of atmosphere we actually wanted to design. It's not just the portables and the bricks and the showers and the beds. It's all of that. But it's also the sense that you're going to be here with our professional counselors, our case managers, our interfaith community, those that perform the miracles every single day to change and transform people's lives. This is what happens right here. And while there's only 65 beds, we hope that those beds will continue to rotate for people's lives who we touch, so that we can bring them into the affordable housing. I wasn't kidding when I wanted to drop the mic and walk off, because I have a lot of work to do to build more affordable housing. And every minute that I spend in the mayor's office is going to try to do that, get that job done, because the more housing that we not only build, but that we recover from our SROs, that we preserve from the challenges of the market, will be a chance for somebody's lives to get off of all of that challenge on the streets. It's now up to 416 beds that we offer in our navigation centers. It's 7,000 permanent housing for people in the years that I've been mayor that we've gotten off the streets in a permanent way, and we'll continue to do that. And we have to speak in the thousands these days because this is the challenge. I was just with the mayors of San Diego and Anaheim, and I shared with them all the things that we're doing, and kind of they're downtrodden because they're challenged in a very serious way as well. And I told them with a smile that we're willing to offer every relationship that we have, the $100 million tipping point relationship, the $30 million Benioff relationship, the relationships that we're doing with the Board of Supervisors in every NAV center that we open, all the shelters and the redesigning of our shelters and the re-invitation that we're going to get people off the streets and into supportive housing. That this is part of what we do as mayors, and that if we make breakthroughs with the business community, with our nonprofits, if we make breakthroughs like we're doing with Project 500 with Human Services in trying to prevent homelessness from happening, if we get the jobs done right so that we're targeting those that are on the edge, that if a good paying job supported by childcare for our homeless children, if we do all the things right, then we can prevent this from happening in people's lives. And that's why I'm here today, is to say thank you to people who put this together. I know it took a little while, but Public Works working in partnership with Human Services and all the other agencies to get this done, getting the support from the Dogpatch neighbors, earning it actually, because I think we had to convince each other that we mean business with sites like this, that we're not just prolonging the issue of homelessness, we're trying to end it. And this is what I get to do with the Board of Supervisors, with Malia's leadership, we get to say we want to end it for every person's life that we touch. We may not end homelessness. That's a conversation I have to have with the federal government, with our state government, with the partnerships that we have, but we've got the best models in San Francisco because of the commitment that we made and the carry-through that we want to have. And if we can model this for every city in the state of California and for every city in the country, and that's what I'm going to get to do at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I've got a coalition now of mayors who are committed to getting these models up and making sure that we're serious about this, and that we will join together for the federal conversation about the role of HUD and the role of federal government to end homelessness for everybody that we touch. Then we're going to have a movement. Right now, we're just beginning it. We're not afraid of the challenge. We embrace it because the lives of people who are changed, the 65 people who come through here on a every maybe 2 or 3 or 4 month basis, Jeff, and get their lives changed. And they go on to permanent supportive housing. They go on to jobs. They go on to creating situations for their families. These are the stories that we'll hear more and more being written about, is how the success of formerly homeless people in San Francisco making their way through one of the most expensive cities by having the commitment of everybody from elected officials, business leaders, nonprofits, the interfaith, all combining together so that we make lives in San Francisco transform. This is what the Summer of Love was all about. This is what we celebrate in our DNA, is changing lives, welcoming people still, but changing them so that they can improve and giving them the opportunity and supportive to do that. It's not easy, it's not inexpensive to do, but I do think it is part of who we are in San Francisco. And again, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's part of this. We'll demonstrate this in every single navigation center. In a couple of months, we'll open up the Hummingbird at Zuckerberg, which will be another 15 to 20 spots for people who have mental health challenges. We've got 1515 South NS, and my staff tells me I don't have to throw the mic down when we say June 19th is the date when we'll open up another 120 beds at South NS 1515 development site. And again, I want to say thank you to them and to, yet again, another supervisor, Ronan, who's stepping up the conversation with the business community, particularly the developer of that site, to say we can use that site for an incredible 8 to 9 serious months of getting people off the streets. And then we'll open up another 100 beds at completely at the Soma, the South of Market area, where we have another. In between, we're going to be continued to focus on the challenges of mental and behavioral health. I think that's going to be the issue of our time. And again, I'm not afraid of working in the highest level with our Department of Public Health and all of our health-related agencies that are going to, and the Hospital Council as well, to really focus on the mental health challenges of our time and to renew the fact that years of chronic homelessness, episodes of health can be interceded with some very professional things. We'll need the court system, we'll need the judges to also help us embrace these individuals who cannot on their own actually make the best decisions, and we're going to help them make even better decisions to get them off the streets and make sure that they've got mental health support, physical health support, as well as the housing and supportive services they need. So with that, congratulations everyone. Welcome to this waterfront navigation center, but also a place that miracles will happen. And there'll be less miracles, there'll be more about just the things that we do to save people's lives as we do every single day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. One of the great things about my job is I get to work with a lot of amazing nonprofit organizations, and I'm really pleased that Providence Foundation will be one of the providers at this site in partnership with ECS. Providence doesn't get the press and the name recognition that some other organizations get, but they have been down on the streets working year after year after year, really doing amazing work that's just rooted in love and compassion, and I just so appreciate all of their staff, especially their executive director, Helen Lamar, who is just such a great community leader with so much heart and spirit, and we're just really lucky, all of us, to have people like Helen and organizations like Providence Foundation involved in this effort. So please join me in welcoming Helen Lamar to say a few words.
Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, everyone. What a beautiful day this is, not just for the weather, but for this beautiful facility that is now called the Central Waterfront Navigation Center, and it will be the home now for 64 formerly homeless people. First, I'd like to thank the City and County of San Francisco's Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing for accepting our proposal with Episcopal Community Services to provide support services on site here. These organizations have many years of experience managing homeless clients. We'd also like to thank Episcopal Community Services for accepting this partnership and this collaborative endeavor. We know that the clients that will be placed here will enjoy this beautiful facility, this beautiful campus that will provide a place to sleep, separate showers for privacy and dignity, a laundry room, a community room, a kitchen, prepared meals, clean linen, and case management services, plus a place for their beloved pets to play and sleep without any endangerment. Thank you, Mayor Lee, for participating in this dedication ceremony on this beautiful day. You have given me a wonderful birthday present. Thank you. We know that there are many, many, many more homeless people that are in need of housing, and we are very glad that the efforts to end homelessness is underway. Thank you all.
So when we're doing projects like this, or permanent affordable housing, or permanent supportive housing, we often hear about NIMBYs, people who say not in my backyard. But what we rarely hear about, and we should hear more about, are people who say yes in my backyard, because there's many, many, many. I would argue it's the majority of people who really support projects like this in their neighborhoods. And we are very fortunate that here in the Dogpatch, the neighbors were by and large very supportive. But I think the leaders of the people who were the Yimbys who really wanted this in their backyard was a gentleman named Mac Allen, who has just been a great supporter of this, who has offered not only to continue bringing the neighborhoods together here. He's told me he would go to any neighborhood in the city, that we would invite him to come and say how great this process has been and how supportive his neighborhood is. So thank you very much, Dogpatch. Thank you very much, Mac Allen. Please join us to say a few words. Thank you.
Finally. I'm sincerely grateful to be here today, and I want to thank the Mayor's Office, Supervisor Cohen's Office Support, the Department of Public Works, Episcopal Community Services, Providence Foundation, and especially the Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing. Jeff, Emily, and Sam, thank you for your hard work and dedication to this project. It really has meant a lot to the neighborhood to have you doing this. The city of San Francisco has long been challenged by chronic homelessness, and the hardships endured by the unhoused require the response of the entire community. The duty to respond to this challenge with empathy and resolve is shared by every neighborhood. No neighborhood should claim a special exemption from this responsibility. I am immensely proud to be here today to represent Dogpatch as a neighborhood that has taken this to heart. Our neighborhood welcomes the center and those it will serve as neighbors. When presented with an opportunity to be a part of this effort, Dogpatch decided it would embrace it. Because Dogpatch has decided that it wants to be part of a profoundly positive change in people's lives, because we support the mission and the purpose of navigation centers, because we welcome the center here itself, I believe that Dogpatch can share in its accomplishments. However, I do not wish to suggest the work as a neighborhood is done now that the center is here. We know that this is no easy answer, and there is no silver bullet which will put a sudden end to the challenges of homelessness. This neighborhood is resolved to engage with and support the Navigation Center and the service providers every step of the way. We know that the success of this Navigation Center and the others is dependent on the availability of placements into permanent supportive housing. So I urge you, Mayor Lee, and the whole city to get to work building the housing to meet this need immediately. I hope that by enthusiastically receiving this center, our neighborhood can serve as an example to other neighborhoods, and that soon every corner of the city will be taking part in the effort to respond to the crisis of homelessness. We're ready to do it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mac. And last but certainly not least, we want to acknowledge and thank the incredible work of our Public Works Department here in San Francisco. We're really close partners with them on so many different things, whether it's building new nav centers or helping to keep the streets clean, working with people and staying in homeless encampments. They have been an amazing partner, and I will tell you this was no easy task. There were a tremendous amount of hurdles that needed to be overcome on building something like this at the end of a street, and getting the street closure worked out, figuring out all the utilities, and getting this beautiful facility built took a tremendous amount of work and a tremendous amount of dedication, and we're so deeply appreciative to everybody from the Department of Public Works, from Public Works. And so please join me in welcoming their Deputy Director and the City Architect, Edgar Lopez.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our director, Mohammed Nuru, who couldn't be here this morning because he got called in for jury duty, I want to share a few words and think of a lot of our partners who help us to deliver this. We want to help our other city agencies, the planning department, the port, HSA, police, fire. All of them have helped us to do the planning and in a very effective way and work in a very collaborative manner to deliver this in a record time of 13 months. The construction was done by Treated Construction as Space Design Modules, as also our partner, and the Bureau of Building Repairs, led by Larry Stringer and Kevin Spohr. They all worked together to do the construction in 5 months, which is a record time. And I apologize, my phone is ringing. And they did it. They did it in a very quick way, and they also were responsible for implementing a vision from our director, Mohammed Nuru, who is constantly challenging us for creative ways of delivering services and being supportive of how we're going to deal with homelessness. Our design team, I want to give them a big thank you to Alejandro, to Iona, to Paul De Freitas for taking the challenge, and look at what they've done. They work with the community to turn a dead-end street into this wonderful navigation space that has outdoor space that provides a dignified place for folks to come. And it is also designed in a different way. It has an outdoor space, has gardening. It's a model that we hope to replicate. I also want to thank the mayor for your trust in helping us to deliver this on your behalf. And we hope we're making you proud of coming with creative solutions. And also to thank for the community for your input. As you know, we started the design on 24th Street. And through the community engagement, we decided that the 25th Street was probably a more appropriate place to put the navigation center. So thank you for your input in helping us deliver this. Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. And now we're going to do a little bit of a ribbon cutting ceremony here. I believe we've got some scissors. Then we got the big scissors. Mr. Mayor, you get the big scissors.
Sorry.